I'm in the center of Tolland, Massachusetts, and hill towns don't get any more charming, any more hilly. Tolland is an old community. Not as old as some of the valley communities, but as a hill town, it's been around since the 18th century. When you look at it, you say old New England, right? That American flag again. Old New England. But it's got a secret. It seems like all New England communities have a secret. And the secret that Tolland is hiding is one that, well, maybe 50 years ago, might have caused consternation. With the young people the way they are today, I don't know if it will. But let's investigate. Very few parts of Massachusetts are as isolated as Tolland. If you're driving south of Route 57, you'll find that Tolland, Massachusetts has roads that go nowhere. They run down to the border of the MDC, which is where Hartford draws its water supply, Barkhamsted Reservoir, and the other great flood control reservoir, Colebrook River Lake. And down here, along the border of Connecticut, in a place where no one ever goes, is a place that was founded as a summer camp back in 1923 by the International Workers Organization, communists, of course, who wanted to create a summer camp for kids, 8 to 16, that would be all about facilitating and spreading the values of American communism in the 1920s. I remember being a kid hunting on the Connecticut side of the line where you can hunt with MDC permission. And in doing so, there's a lake over here, just on the other side of this hill, called Victory Lake. And I thought that was a cool name for a lake. Little did I know that Victory Lake stood for Red Victory in the Russian Revolution. And right back there, on the other side of that hill, you can see the houses of the Camp Victory summer campers. In fact, here we have the sign, Camp Kinderland. This is the home of what were called Red Diaper Babies. We're at the very driveway, and I'm not going down there in this video, maybe another video, but not now. This is Fishing Historic Places. We're going to take on a river right near here and do a little bit of discussion of the campers that went to Camp Kinderland back in the day. It's now called, I think it's called Camp Spruceland. They changed the name. In 1954, Camp Kinderland was split as the government seized the assets of the I.W.O. and the camp became independent, nonetheless with the same goal in mind. So it's March 29th, 30th I think, the day before Easter. There's somebody up there that's rushing the season, mowing their lawn. I can't imagine they really need to do that. But we're here at one of my favorite little spill pools in New Boston, right below the hill where Camp Kinderland was established back in 1923, and the Red Diaper Babies were trained in the sly arts of American Bolshevism. Let's catch some fish and talk about it. Oh, might have been a whack. Here, I present the URL. I get it in there. I'm working this current, trying to get it near the bottom. There's whirlpools. Whenever you see little whirlpools, get focused, because for some reason I've noticed whirlpools usually are a great indicator that there's going to be feeding trout, which I suppose makes sense.
So I got some whirlpools right in here. And like I say, run it. Keep running it. You see the whirlpool spinning. Oh, that was a rock. You can see the whirlpool spinning off. And I like to get my nymph. There we go. Up and again. And I got it down into that deep hole there, and somebody was waiting for me. On the drift. Oh, a nice colored up rainbow. Looks like a definite holdover. Still game. Nice fish. Look at him work his way up. Oh yeah. Nice colored up fish. Look at him. On the top fly. An aggressive little tyke. Oh! Bad net job. So this guy hit the Copper John. And his friends, no sign of the stocking crook. Oh, there he goes. So I just laid it up here and letting it run this current lane. And he had to have seen those nymphs a dozen times before he hit. I was actually getting ready to move, but he couldn't resist the Copper John. Which is not one of my number one nymphs, I'll tell you. But he liked it. That was a rock. You're going to be bumping. If you're not bumping, you're not catching. There we are, right at my feet here. Nice. Just when I was saying, I really need to be thinking about this pool because it's nice and deep here. And there's another one. Almost identical to the earlier fish. And again, he's hitting the Copper John. What's that telling me? It's got to be telling me something. Things are looking good. This is last year's stock. Oh, that might have been a bang. High up in the drift. I didn't expect it there. We've got any hits on the back end, on the fourth quarter. My hits have all been in the third quarter. A little bit inside. There we go. Oh, he got off! Oh, he was right there. It made me feel like a genius on that ledge. But he got off. Now I'm all discombobbled. Okay, here we go again. What kind of memory they got? I had one hit like 4 times last year before I caught him, and I had him, you know, he felt the barb a couple times. Should have been 3 right there. This is where mono really helps with the presentation. If I were using fly line, it would definitely be sagging on me. With the mono 4-pound test, I don't have much sag. As you can see, the line is going almost directly down to the nymphs. Just a little bit of sag under its own weight. And it's best for French nymphing, which means I'm casting out beyond the length of my pole and letting the current swing it. I try not to swing it. I mean, I'm trying to work a natural drift, but see, right over here I got these rocks. Somebody was hiding there right here under this coffin-shaped rock right at my feet. There we go. There we go. There we go. Somebody over there, I don't know who it is, but somebody is waiting right where those two currents come together. Right under the little tannery. What are we looking at here? Ooh, another feisty rainbow. Get them over to this side. Almost a disaster. I almost went for a ride. Am I going to get him back here or no? Got to get him across the current into the backwater here. Plus I want to chase him, which can be fun, but the water's a little cold for that. This guy's on the bottom. This guy hit the stonefly. Again, another one of our holdovers that we're getting today. Nice one. Look at the size of this guy. He gave me a battle out in that heavy current. Oh, you spaz. Hung up in the tree here. So we're looking at maybe 16, 17. Look at the size of that guy. And again, he doesn't show any sign of the stocking truck, although his tail looks like he got whacked by something. Look at that, like somebody grabbed him. Tolland marks. All right, it's off to the races for that guy. I wonder what kind of fish are in Victory Lake that the Red Diaper Babies summer at. Because when people from New York come to the Berkshires, it's called summering. So for 6-8 weeks they would summer here. Oh, that was probably a bang right there. And being as I was gibbering. But yeah, the Red Diaper Babies, what, 8 to 16, learned basically the philosophy of Marxism that they later realized was a little bit a loaded term, so they euphemized it to socialism. Doesn't seem so bad, right? Oop. Abby Hoffman, Paul Stanley, a whole bunch of relatively, moderately famous, some more than others, Jewish Americans. I guess I should say Jewish American communists attended Camp Kinderland and got to fish Victory Lake. And I have never fished Victory Lake. And I feel like I need to sneak in and fish it. I'm almost 60. What are they going to do to me? It's not like I'm 11, not like I'm 20. What will a constabulary do? And I'll be doing it for historical inquiry because I want to answer the question, what kind of fish are in Victory Lake? I wonder if they stock it with trout. They probably do. I'll let them go. I won't feed any of their beasts. I won't poach their fish. So it was just over that mountain that the Red Diaper Babies Camp Kinderland is located. Literally a mile from the peak of that hill. And I would wonder if Paul Stanley of KISS, Abby Hoffman, some of the other young people being schooled in the ways of Karl Marx, Frederick Engels, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. I wonder if they hiked those woods. And it was really an innocent time when they started. I don't know if they were necessarily what we would call like evil communists. I think at the time they were looking at it as an answer to the disparity between rich and poor. And it's kind of weird. People in America have this way of thinking about the rich. And I do too. I think everybody does. If you're middle class, you got the time on your hands to consider what the other half have, And in America, to say the other half isn't bad. Back when Bernie was running for president, he used to talk about 3% of the people controlling 95% of the wealth in the country. You do the math on that, and you find out that there's 7 million millionaires in America, multi-millionaires, 7 million multi-millionaires. That's the greatest distribution of wealth, an example of upward mobility in the history of the world. If you think about like revolutionary Russia, revolutionary France, you had autocracies that controlled, almost 100% of the wealth, and we're talking about 500 people, 500 families, 600 families. So if we're talking about the French Revolution, right around that, and here in America, it's an amazing amount of wealth that this society has generated since the beginning, since but the society generated ill-gotten gains on the labor of others. All societies do. And in this society, rules and laws were enfranchised, enshrined, like the idea of human rights. Yeah. These ideas might have come out of Enlightenment England or Enlightenment France, but they were put into operation here in the USA, not in Gay Paris or in London. The United States does not have any apologies to make for being the beacon of hope in the world. Yup, there was slavery, and there was a great civil war fought. Nearly 1 million Americans died in that war. Every time they do an analysis of the number that died, they raise it. That's what's ridiculous about Civil War demographics. I remember when I was younger, there was like 500,000 dead, then 600,000, now they're up to 800,000. So let's just say 1 million fell in the war between the states. Pretty much over the issue of slavery. There were other issues, of course. States' rights had a lot of different callings. And although the Civil War destroyed what we call the slaveocracy, it created what we could also call the steelocracy. And it was that steelocracy that the Red Diaper Baby was trying to fight. Now we have another technocracy that's grown up, and we have another group of young Americans who think that Marxism is the way, without really paying any attention to what Marxism looks like around the world and the human tragedies that have resulted from it. It's pretty hilarious, but typical. So here the Farmington River is flowing under the old abandoned bridge that once carried Route 8 south and north, and it's just up on that hill that we can see. Well, just beyond that hill is where the Camp Kinderland establishment is located. So it's pretty probable that the Red Diaper Babies would have hiked in this region. And when they were heading to Camp Kinderland, they would have certainly come up Route 8 from Winstead and beyond that, New York City. This is the natural way they would have traveled. So you would have seen these young people coming under the bridge knowing that they were getting pretty close to their campsite where they were going to spend the summer and learn the ways of the I.W.O. or the American Communist Party, until that came to an end in the 50s and was replaced by just Camp Kinderland, but the philosophy remained. The camp's still in operation. I need to find out what kind of fish are in that lake. Certainly a beautiful area.